Yes, Erica.
Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, boy. Hey, I got my Price is Right microphone right here because I need
Lord.
everything that I got to say. Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
And I'm Derek J. And we are here with another episode of Gay Like Me Conversations. You know, we were missing for a month. But we're back. But you know, it was actually a much needed break.
It really was. I enjoyed
it. But it's all good. But we're here with another great conversation. We are talking about threesomes and open relationships and polyamorous relationships and all that good stuff.
And we have some folk down there that are ready to talk. And I'm ready to listen.
So
I really do want to learn some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I have my ideas, you know, about threesomes and open relationships and people who are in relationships who engage in that. I personally think that it is a recipe for disaster. But I'm always willing to learn, you know, and be enlightened.
And you know what? And I am the girls represent today, the ladies are representing today. So
the ladies are representing today.
Yes. So, and as always, we know that we you know, we put the call out for people, and we had people, and people didn't, I think, must not feel comfortable having this conversation. So we're going to open up to you guys. That's going to be that's in the chat to pop in here and have the conversation with us also once we get through our panelists today. And we talked about this earlier, and we'll talk about this the other day. And like, for me, I think I am open to an open relationship. You know, I am. I'm open to. Why are you smiling, Craig?
Because my girl Angie that's down here, she DM'd me the other day, and we had a whole dialogue about you in the DMs, and I started to screenshot and send it to you. I said, no, but I want to blindside that little lady. So, but we had a really interesting conversation, because what she said to me was, she actually sent voice notes. And she said, I don't know why you keep having these conversations with Derek J about sex, because first of all, he's a virgin.
Right.
Second of all, he ain't ever been in a relationship. So his perspective will be completely different if he had those experiences. And I said, you know what? You're absolutely right. Because
that's why I said I'm open to it. You know,
but I think that if Keop, you were supposed to be in here in the live. You were supposed to be in the conversation. I'm trying to figure out why Keop is in the comments. And you emailed all these pictures. He didn't emailed a whole photo album, and he's not even in there. But what I was going to say was, but I think that once you fall in love, Derek, I think your perspective will be different. Like, you may not be as open, pun intended, to share, you know, your relationship.
But you know what? That is, I don't think that's fair to say, because these people have been in relationships and they're open to do it too. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, I think that I know because of those reasons, one, that I'm not having sex. So the thing is, if I was in a relationship with somebody, who am I supposed to say, like, no, you can't, like, I'm not having sex with you, so you can't have sex with nobody else? That's kind of not fair.
Well, I mean, I'm not. Well, it's not about fair or not, because I do think that. Let me correct that. I do not think that love is ownership or control.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying, and I said this the other day when we jumped on here to announce this, I think it's about partnering with someone whose relationship views and values, you know, model yours or parallel yours. You know what I mean? So it's really not about this tug of war. I talk about this in Book of Jewels. If you get into a relationship with somebody who you see that soft plug, you see how he's throwing in there.
Right, it's a hard plug, girl. It's going across the bottom of the screen. This ain't no soft plug.
But no, seriously, I think that when you get into a relationship, once you know your name, and you get into a relationship with someone whose relationship views and values parallel yours, you're like-minded. Yes, Crystal, you're not in this tug of war, and I'm not trying to pull you in my direction because this is how I think the relationship should go, and you're not trying to pull me in your direction because you think it belongs over here. Because if we're in sync, you know what I'm saying, we're going in the same direction. And I think that's the mistake. And this is even bigger than threesomes and open relationships. I think the problem is with us when we get into relationships. We think that we can train people how to be in relationship with us. And it's just like, no, you need to get in relationship with somebody who thinks and moves the way that you, it's not going to be identical, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, but before we get into our panelists, we did have a challenge that we put out there the other day, and you forgot already, huh?
Well, I remember we said we were going to pay off some layaways, but that ain't today.
No, that ain't today.
What was the other one?
The other one was that you guys, whatever you cash app me and Craig tonight, we would match the cash app and we will be donated to the breast cancer.
Oh yeah, to my friend Danielle and MJ. Right, we're going to donate it to the American Cancer Society it's for breast cancer
awareness month.
If you guys missed the live yesterday, she came on and told us briefly how funding or donations are down by 50%. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's down by 50% because of the pandemic. So there aren't as many breast cancer awareness walks where they've raised the majority of that money. So it's down about 50%. So they're selling these hoodies and these sweatshirts. But like Derek said, if you guys cash app us tonight, we'll match whatever comes into the cash app tonight. Okay.
Yeah, so, man. We're gonna donate to the
comes in. We'll donate 1,000.
Yeah. Ooh,
all right. But
so now, so listen, y'all, get us $500 so we can donate $500. So it'll be
that's gonna at least be the goal. That's the minimum goal.
Yes. So we want to get $500 a night between. That's our minimum goal. $500 between Craig and I. So we can donate. So we'll add $500 to it. So we donate $1,000 to the American Cancer Society. So.
And Kiop, I just dropped the link in the comments. Hopefully you see it because I do want you in here because he sent this email. But anyway, go ahead, Derek.
Well, let's start with Angie B. Since y'all already started having a pre-conversation.
Hey, girl. Hey. Take your mute off.
I got it. Oh, no, she got to unmute it.
Hey, boo, hey. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so let me clarify. That conversation, that wasn't me. I DM'd you about something different about this, and we went back and forth. Yeah. So that wasn't me. I think that was someone else. That was someone else.
Because a few people, a few of you DM'd me about it. Okay, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
But hi, Angie. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well, thank you. So the conversation tonight is about threesomes, open relationships, and polyamorous relationships, right?
Correct.
So where do you fall into this space?
So I am in an open relationship currently.
Okay.
Yes, right now. With my boyfriend, the love of my life, and he is the father of my children, my 2 daughters. We have, and I have, and he has participated in threesomes and more than threesomes.
All right, everybody.
We've both participated in different forms of what I would consider as group sex or multiple sex. And I'm also openly bisexual. So, yes. Which is kind of a portion of how the openness came about. I brought it to him. He never, ever, ever in the 7 years that we've been together ever brought it up to me, up until the point that I brought it up to him.
So Whitney, when you turned Bobby out,
No, trust and believe that freak was in him. He went to HBCU just like I did. So that freak flag been flew. That freak flag been flew. But I think because of we're both alpha personalities, and because of my personality and who he knew I was, I think that's one of the reasons why he never brought it to me. I think he didn't know how I would react or that it would be super negative. But I also, in turn, wasn't expecting him to be okay with it, especially with it being 100% open and not just you can sleep with females and we can sleep with females. It was an equally open relationship. So yeah, and
Go
Go ahead, Craig.
I was gonna say, so you're saying, if I'm understanding you correctly, he was already in his mind thinking he would be okay with having an open relationship, but you introduced it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool with it," but you think that he was afraid to bring it to you?
yes and no. So we had talked about it like year 2 of us dating.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, to me, the relationship was still fresh. And I said, no, that's not something I will be interested in at this point. Year 3 is when I let him know that I was bisexual and into women. And once that, happened, we began to have encounters with other women. I began to have encounters with other women with his permission. And then I brought about the openness. So he never actually said anything about it at all. He's very laid back. He's like he's like an old man in a young man's body. He's from like deep South Alabama. So he's very chill and go with the flow, which is why this all kind of worked it for his benefit, I guess you would say.
So now, how long into the relationship
did we become open?
Correct.
Year 4.
Okay, so year 3, you told him you were bisexual.
Correct.
And then year 4, you guys started having the open.
Correct. And how it came about is I kind of had a internal come to Jesus moment with myself, and we had begun talking about, the next steps in our life and what we wanted to do and marriage and all that type of thing. And, I had conversations with my grandmother and my mother about, why they stayed in relationships so long with infidelities and things like that. Back in the day, they didn't care what happened. They were staying married, period. So I thought to myself, what would be the only thing that would make me walk away from this relationship? He has everything that I want as far as my partner. He has the values and everything like that. What would make me walk away? Mm-hmm. And I said to myself, nothing really. And I thought to myself, I'm not jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like Flame Monroe says, can't no bitch do what I do. So, but I thought to myself and I said, infidelity is like one of the top things that breaks up relationships. Mm-hmm. Why would I let something like as simple as a physical encounter that could honestly mean nothing? Because I personally feel like you can have sex with no emotional connection. Some people, absolutely, not everyone. And I thought to myself, that one thing, I don't think it would make me walk away. As humans, we can naturally be attracted to other people. Me, myself, I don't want to be confined to only being physically interactive with the same person for the rest of my life. That's just not something that I want. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I brought the openness to him. We talked about it. He asked questions, like what makes you want to do this? When did you start thinking about this? And we just, we discussed it in depth. And he had questions and I answered them. He was like, yeah, I would do it. And I said, well, if we do it, I'm equal. I'm an equal opportunity. Like I'm equal on all slates. If we do it, it has to be equal. I'm not just going to be out here, just dealing with females and bringing females into the mix.
So you also bring males in?
For myself, yeah. Okay.
There's a question here, and it says, how would you feel if he was bisexual and wanted to sleep with other men? Would you be able to?
I've dated someone who's bisexual. Okay. He's not bisexual by any means.
But you've dated someone.
I've dated someone who's bisexual.
And then go ahead.
My thing is, as long as you're open and honest with me, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't have any issue with it. It's the lying. Give me the opportunity to say yes or no. That yes, I do want to deal with you. No, I don't.
Okay, so
someone who's bisexual in college.
there was another question that rolled through here, and they were asking, because you said you've slept with other women outside of the relationship, outside of the threesomes with him. Mm-hmm. Are you allowed, and I'm using the word allowed intentionally, are you allowed to sleep with other men outside of the relationship, or are you only allowed to sleep with other women?
Both, men and women.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. It's 100% open. It's 100% open. Yeah.
Way to go, Paula.
It's 100% open. But also, so just to get back, so we had that conversation. He said yes. I said cool. We laid down our rules, what our rules are. So we do have rules. We laid that out, and we've had no niches and glitches since when I got pregnant with our second daughter. We cut it off. There was no openness during my pregnancy and immediately following my pregnancy, because that's
y'all ramped back up.
Huh?
Immediately after the pregnancy, y'all ramped back up.
No. Immediately following the pregnancy it was no openness. And during the pregnancy it was no openness, because you know that you have a baby inside of you. That's more of a health risk, and honestly, you know, hormones, emotions all over the place, ain't got time for that. So we shut it down for that time. But yeah.
So let me ask this, and so that we can move to somebody else, because we got a few other people down here waiting. What are some of the rules, briefly, what are some of the rules that you guys put in place? Because if you were listening the other day, one of the things that I said was, in every situation where I've heard couples who have threesomes or participate in threesomes, they always set these rules. They start off with these rules, and then somehow one person ends up getting greedy and ends up bending the rules, or end up participating in something without their partner. So what are some of the rules? You said you guys haven't had any problems with the rules. So what are
we have not had not one niche, one glitch or anything, but I think that came from forming the solidarity of the relationship beforehand. But some of our rules, you can receive oral, you cannot give oral. And that is for independent activity.
Oh, so if y'all in the threesome, it can happen.
It can happen. If it's with a female, it can happen. If it's with a male, it cannot.
Wait a minute.
For me.
So in other words, you can't. Let we grown in here. Put your earphones on.
Okay, I can't suck dick,
but I
can get my box ate. He can't eat anyone's box.
And he can get his dick.
He can get his dick. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's whether you're together or apart.
No, that's only when we're apart. Only when we're apart.
But when you're together, anything goes in terms of oral.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me ask you this. Now, why are you so specific about that? Why do you have to be there to witness it? The oral. Why is it not okay if he's without you? Why is it okay if he's with you?
That's a good question. We actually that's a good question. And honestly, it's really dumb, but it's just I think it's like the one thing I just want to hold true and possessive. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make sense, but it does to me.
Okay.
One of the other rules is okay, and when I say this, I mean come COME, not CUM.
Okay.
We come first. Like, if I want to go out, if someone, you know, if I want to go out and I want to hook up with someone and he's like, I want to stay in and Netflix and chill, that situation is shut down. We come first. Like, our time.
Okay. Your time together. Okay.
Yes, our time together comes first. Like, I might not want you to go nowhere tonight. You might not want me to go nowhere.
Don't you answer the goddamn question? We got some more people here.
Well, wait a minute.
No. We're gonna bring Anthony.
I got one more to ask it. Only because they're saying in the comments, no, don't let her go yet. Well, I got one more question. So, yeah, you made me forget my question, Derek.
I know. So we're gonna bring. And she's not going nowhere yet, Craig. She ain't going nowhere. She right here.
I see somebody that says, are they allowed to have sexual encounters in their home? Nobody comes to our home, whether apart or together. Absolutely.
Travel.
Absolutely not. Our home is our home, and ain't nobody laying in my bed but me. I have children, and that is our sacred space. Nobody come. If we want to hang out, we go over there, or there. We live in Atlanta. It's hundreds and thousands of hotels, but nobody, absolutely no one comes into our home ever.
Okay, I remember my question now. Has there ever been an instance where he wanted to do a threesome with someone that you weren't feeling, or vice versa?
Absolutely.
What happened in that instance?
Absolutely. He had a MFM, which is a male, female, male. Yes, with
a trans man.
No, MFM is male, female, male.
What? I don't.
It was a married couple.
Wait a minute, girl.
It was a married couple.
It was a married couple.
Oh, a married couple.
Yes.
Girl, there's so many acronyms.
I thought you were talking about a trans man too. I was like, oh, well, this is interesting.
No.
Okay.
No, and I didn't even know that. No, he had an encounter with a married couple. I wanted to do an MFM. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do it for my birthday. But anyway, that's another story. But but yeah, he had an encounter with those individuals, and then they wanted to do it again and bring me in, and I was like, no, because to me the female was not my type, and the male was not my type. So I was saying no. On my end, that has never happened to him, vice versa. No.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it definitely happened on his end. Yeah, I didn't want no parts.
Well, Angie, thank you so much. We're gonna hold you down here, girl. But
I'm here.
Up again.
I'm here. Bring me in whenever.
Take notes or anything, so when you come back, if somebody says something, or something you forgot to mention,
I sure will.
All right.
You was really getting that conversation, Craig.
Because you know what? This is how I want all of our conversations to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was really intrigued. Like, I learned some stuff from her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned some stuff. But go ahead.
Okay, so we're gonna bring Big Chris up, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Big Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
So we're talking about threesomes, open relationships, polyamorous relationships. Where do you fall into this category?
With the threesome, well, first it started out as open marriage, and then it progressed to polyamory.
Now, how long were you in that situation?
The marriage, or just the whole situation?
For the marriage, how long were you in the marriage before you started to get into the open relationship, or was it always an open marriage?
Well, first we were married for like 15 years, about 15 years, 5 kids, and then our marriage kind of hit a wall, and so that's when the idea came up about it.
So has the relationship gotten stale? Why did it come up after 15 years?
Well, yeah, that's it. I married my first wife right when she got out of high school. She was 18. I was 20, and we've been together ever since.
Are y'all still together now?
Oh no. That has something to do with those Pandora boxes, right?
So, well, enlighten us. Tell us what happened. What happened?
Well, in the beginning, the ground rules. She did her thing. I did mine. My rule was you had to tell me everything that happened on her day. She didn't want to hear nothing that happened on my day. So she would tell me the stuff that was going on her dates and stuff. So I guess that kind of critiqued my interest, I guess. Because I wanted to know, you want to be with other men. What why would you want to do that? Why would you want to gravitate towards another guy? So I guess that as she kept telling me her escapade, whatever, that became my obsession too, I guess.
So hers was her affairs, I guess, weren't just limited to sex. She started going on dates with these people.
Yes.
So going back a step, when you said after 15 years you guys started having these open relationship with doing threesomes, why didn't you just make the decision to just leave if the relationship had kind of hit a wall, as opposed to doing the threesomes?
Well, I loved her. I wasn't ready to let her go.
And you thought it was going to save the relationship?
Yes. That was like my last thing that I could offer. Like, what can I do? Kind of save this.
So how long after you guys started doing the threesomes did you remain married?
Actually, she never agreed to a threesome with me. I was just in the room. So it was a threesome with her and two other guys. Oh. And I was like in a corner, just.
Oh, so you've been avoiding it.
So you were avoiding.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So Chris, I don't know how you identify if you're LGBTQ or what, but in those scenarios with her, did you ever engage anything with the guy? Did you ever go beyond your comfort zone in that way?
Well, that's where the Pandora box comes in, right? When you're open, that leaves you the opportunity to explore.
So you explored.
I explored.
Come on, Indiana Jones.
But that was costly because once I revealed that to her, she wasn't down for that.
That you were interested in engaging with the guys.
That was what done it for her.
Oh,
so she was just selfish.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh well, I mean.
So thinking back on it, Chris, do you regret making that decision or going along with any of that?
Looking back on it now, yes, but I think she would eventually either cheat it or probably would have broken up anyway.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, Chris. Well, you said you got Craig quiet. Craig,
Craig, about the jealousy part, from the books that I read, you're supposed to turn jealousy into what is it? Compersion. Supposed to turn that into compersion, because jealousy is nothing but you're being scared of losing your connection to this other person. So now, and I look at it this way: if you're jealous of your partner, how do you think he feels when you go out with your significant other? So this is something that you have to conversate, you got to talk about. Yeah.
So Chris, let me ask you: how do you identify as LGBTQ? Also, had you had experiences with a guy before, the threesomes with her? And what are you doing now? Like, are you in relationships with guys, girls, what?
Well, I identify as sexually fluid.
Okay.
I gravitate towards energy, sexual energy. I'm actually married to a woman, but that's just by chance. That's just we met, and that just happens to be the status right now.
So prior to the threesomes with her, you had been with a guy before.
Well, like when I was younger, I experimented you know.
Chris, that would qualify as a yes.
It really didn't get more serious until the open relationship, the open marriage. Mm-hmm. And so I had the freedom, the time to get to know that side of me, you know, that I didn't know was there. So
right.
Wow.
But the downside was she wasn't with that. You know?
And so you said you're sexually fluid. So currently you would be open to a male or female now?
Yeah, I gravitate towards the community. Yeah.
Now, and the marriage that you're in now is it an open relationship now, or is it y'all are monogamous?
It's closed. It's closed right now.
You said it's closed right now. See, I'm listening.
It's closed right now. Yeah.
So there's some subtext there. So in other words, you're open for this one. You're open to this being open as well.
I tried my best, but my wife, the current wife I'm with now,
she ain't with.
Still with.
You better leave that door closed. You'd be in that same scenario, Chris.
Well, thank you, Chris. We're gonna drop you back down, and we're gonna bring you up for the roundabout. Okay.
All right.
Y'all love my little microphone.
Yes, child. You and this damn microphone. We got some interesting situations.
Yes, we do. You guys showed up for this panel tonight.
All right. So then now we about to bring up our resident. What is Amber?
Our resident shit starter.
She our resident shit starter. She is she always got her notes and everything ready for us. So let's bring Amber up. Oh, she already got her notes ready.
She didn't put her lashes on.
I actually did put them on. I ain't have time.
Oh, you didn't have time? Okay.
They're right here.
Okay.
It'll be the comments for me. I'm already over here crying, laughing.
Hey, Amber.
Hey, Derek.
How are you?
Hey, Amber.
I'm good.
So talk to us, Amber. You already know the drill. So talk to us. What you got going on over there, Amber?
Okay, so for the people who do not know, I'm Amber. I'm 19 and I identify as a polyamorous, bisexual, cisgender woman.
Please explain polyamorous first, because there are people who may not know.
Okay, so I'll break down what the word means. Polyamory, the poly part means many. It's translated to many. And amory is similar to like the word amor, which is like love in Spanish. So it means many loves. So it means that you have the ability to love multiple people simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. It's the rest of it, girl. You the one that was this long description of you, girl. Finish it up.
I was just trying to pause in case y'all had any.
Oh, you were trying to let them digest it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm in many Facebook groups on Facebook for like Black polyamorous people who are looking for like-minded people, and most of the people are older, but so I can tell that a lot of people, they don't really come into this lifestyle until they're older. But for me, it was different. I knew when I was around 13 or 14 that I was polyamorous. Mm-hmm. Because that was around the age where I was coming to terms with my sexuality and who I was. And I was starting to accept the fact that I like women and men. And it says, wait, I'm still digesting. I thought she said disgusting. I was going to say, girl. Y'all know.
Focus, me. Focus.
No, we don't need you popping off yet, Amber.
Right. So that was when I was coming to terms that I was with my bisexuality, that I like men and women. And I was just sitting down thinking one day, like, what is marriage going to look like for me in the future? Because I know that I like men and women, and I know for sure that just marrying a man, that I would not be comfortable with that. And I wouldn't be able to do that because I still desire to be with a woman emotionally, and I still have sexual desires for women and all of that. So I was just like stressing and like worrying about it, because I was like, I'm just going to be miserable for the rest of my life, because I can't just marry a man. And then if I was to just marry a woman, I still crave all those things from a man as well. Mm-hmm. So girl, I went down to the YouTube and started typing stuff in, like 3 people in a marriage and 2 women, 1 man in a marriage. And I just came across like this whole new world. And that's where like the vocabulary and the dialogue started to come in for me. And that's when I came across polyamory and polyandry and polygamy and all that other kind of stuff. Because all I had seen at the time was that little show on was it Lifetime with them white people and that man with all them wives? Mm-hmm. That was all I had seen. So I knew that I didn't want all that because that's too much. But being that I'm bisexual, I knew that I wanted a husband and a wife. So I came to the terms that I was polyamorous, and it was something that I kind of hid up until like last year, and I just recently started telling people and being out in the open with it because I'm grown now and I don't give a fuck what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and that's how it came about.
So let me ask. Somebody asked. There was a question up there. What's the difference between polyamory and pansexual? Are you able to differentiate?
Yes. Okay. So polyamory is a relationship identity, and pansexual is a sexual identity, which is like heterosexual and bisexual and demisexual and all that other kind of shit. But pansexual means that you are attracted to. You're not attracted to like a gender. You're just attracted to people. Like you go off of their vibes and their energy and whatever they present to you, but not necessarily their gender.
Very good explanation.
Yeah.
Now, have you been in an open relationship?
No, but I have.
Because we know you're just 19, so.
Right.
But you did have had a threesome.
A few of them.
Okay, was that with 2 men and a woman? I mean, 2 men or 2 women?
Or all of the above.
Or all of the above, all women or all.
Okay, so
it ain't no fake one like Craig's, is it?
Huh?
A fake threesome. You remember?
No fake threesome like Craig.
Oh no, it wasn't no fake threesome. We was definitely not busting nuts. It wasn't no fake threesome.
If you guys don't know about my fake threesome, I talked about that the other day on the live. Go ahead.
Right. But I actually lost my virginity to a threesome when I was like 15 or 16. I don't remember which age it was. But it was spring break, and my birthday always falls between the week of spring break and the that weekend, the actual spring break weekend. So it was just up from there, and I was with some friends. Well, one of them was my best friend, and the other girl we had just met, and we went back to the girls' big sister house, and we was all laying in the bed. They started kissing, and it just went from there.
Now, do you prefer? I mean, because you said you've been in a lot of them. So, do you prefer threesomes?
Hold on, not a lot.
girl, you said you've been busting it down, girl. So I just want to make sure, like, so now have you had one with 2 men and you, or a man and another woman, or
no? The most recent one I had this year was the first one where a man was involved.
Gotcha.
And it was 3 women and a man.
So you had orgy.
That is it kind of does it kind of is that that's not.
I mean, when it get past a threesome, it's an orgy.
Oh, I guess it was an orgy then.
Girl, she out here having orgies. Don't even know she having orgies.
No.
she done found everything else on the YouTube. You didn't find that on YouTube.
It was not I didn't count it as an orgy. I was just calling it a foursome.
Well, just like I didn't count my situation as a threesome, but it was.
We was busting nuts. Okay, so with the foursome, I wasn't supposed to be a part of that. I told myself that I wasn't going to. We were sitting there watching TV, and my 2 friends and the dude, they went off to the bedroom, and I just went back there to watch. I always say that every time. I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna just watch, and I end up joining, and that's just how that went.
Now you see how Amber said every time it's supposed to be just watching. I say she had a lot of threesomes. She's like, I have a lot. Well,
because
it sound like you get it popping, girl.
No, prior to that, it was only 2 threesomes, and it was with the same people.
Okay, gotcha.
So she didn't add no extra bodies.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
So do you see yourself? So when it's time for you to get into a relationship or become married, or how do you see what does that look like for you, Amber?
A close triad. I want a husband and a wife. That's it.
So what's the difference between that and a throuple?
There is no difference. It's called a throuple.
Okay.
A couple.
Yes, but for technical terms, it's called a closed triad.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the perfect. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
More specifically, I want an FFM triad, and I know you was you didn't understand what the first lady was saying when
right, because I thought she was saying FTM.
No, it's the different types of relationship dynamics. There's an MFM, which is a male, female, and a male, and then you have a FFM, which is a female, and a male, and yeah.
Oh.
So which one do you want?
Just another woman and me. I don't really like men like that. I cannot deal with more than one man.
So you want another woman and a man?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's the perfect segue for Kiop, because when he emailed, he said he used that term. he has a partner, a male, and they're looking for that third person to seal their triad.
Yeah, and that's polyandry. It's not that's not called polyamory. It's polyandry where there's two women.
Girl, I
two
need to
men
write
and
this down.
men. Yes, please do. It's a lot.
No, what's polyandry?
That's what Keop's looking for. That's the kind of relationship he wants, where it's two men and a woman.
Oh, okay. So the term changes if it's two men versus two women, and okay, got it.
Yes.
Ooh, jeez, I'm trying to get one man, child. Let alone, I mean, all this is a lot.
This young lady right here just trying to find one. and y'all out here in 2 and 3.
Okay, I wanted to talk about because you said something earlier, Craig. You was like you was talking to Derek. You said when you fall in love, you won't want to share. And what did you mean by that?
Well, like Derek is very hard, fast on this idea that he would be okay with an open relationship, as long as they're open they're honest with each other, or even if there were threesomes, as long as he, knew about it. But what I'm saying is, because he has yet to be in a relationship and he has yet to fall in love, I'm thinking his perspective may be different if those things come into play. Like if he met somebody next week and in 3 months fell in love, I don't know if he would be so open to an open relationship.
Because why is that? Is this like
that? Because Amber, you've been watching Craig enough to know when Craig gets something in his mind, ain't no changing it, child.
No. Listen, I'm here to learn. I'm teachable.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, I just think that experience is a good teacher. And didn't Mickey Howard say that? So I just think that, because there's one thing to say, okay, here's a very, very good example. You know how when people who don't have millions of dollars will say, oh, I would never spend that kind of money on a shirt, or I would never spend that kind of money on a car. Then your ass get $15 million. You out there buying $3,000 shoes. And you know what I'm saying? So your experiences change, based on your circumstance.
I don't agree.
I'm not here to proselytize you. I'm just
because it's coming off as like you view open relationships or threesome as a negative thing, and I feel like so many people they view them as that because they heard horror stories from people who dove into that and they were not ready for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say all the time, you have to be wired for stuff like that. It's not like polyamory is not something that you just try. You have to be. That's how you wire. That's what you want. That's what you desire. It's not something that you just try. And a lot of people try shit for the wrong reasons, and they have different motives and intentions. Like some people that niggas will tell you, "Oh, babe, I just want to spice up the relationship. I want something different." Whole time they don't even want to be with your ass no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh boy, Big Chris.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Somebody named Midsummer Dream said you're assuming that people that are polygamous, that are in polygamous relationships or closed triads, aren't in love with each other.
Yes, and we're very.
So it does sound like that, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is, I think Derek's his perspective might change. I'm not saying that it will. It might change if he fell in love today. Like, I don't know if he would be as generous, let's say. Like like Crystal says down here, yes, being in love can change perspective, because I didn't want kids, but once I fell in love, I did want a family. You know what I'm saying? So you can sometimes be very hard, fast on the idea, but then when, you know what I'm saying? And then when a circumstance is different than what you anticipated, it's like, oh, well, maybe I can be open to that. I don't know.
These people slow. What the fuck are you talking about?
Amber, we're gonna drop you down, Amber. We're gonna bring Key up.
All right.
All right. Farm. I think it was J Farm D said, I want to hear from somebody who's in an actual relationship now, and they, So Keop emailed the other day and was basically saying in the email that he has a partner, a male, and so that's what is that? Poly. Because it's two males and they're looking for a female. What was that?
We're gonna
Okay.
answer. But before you pop them up, thank you guys. I mean, y'all, we are getting your cash apps, and thank you. Keep cash apping, because at the end of the night we'll tell you what it is. At the end of this, we'll tell you what it's up to, and we're gonna match whatever was given tonight on Cash App, and me and Craig will match it and donate it to the American Cancer Foundation for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So now, I'm sorry, I have to do some housekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I'm gonna bring Keop up. Hey, Kia, how are you? Can you hear us?
Polyamorous.
Can you hear? Okay, you can hear us? Sure, he got all this equipment, honey, and can't hear us.
He got his video game and stuff on, child. You can't even hear us.
Oh, okay, the word is polyandry. Thank you. So when it's two males and a
So
female.
wait, so click out and come back in.
Go out and come back in.
Go out and come back in. Okay, we gotta do the boom. There we go.
Okay.
He had all that equipment.
So all that equipment, honey. And
But
we can hear him.
Yes, so but if people drop the link in, Craig.
Oh.
If you guys are in the conversation, y'all want to join this conversation about if you're in a polyamorous relationship, if you're in if you're into having threesomes, if you're into any of that kind of stuff, jump on in and have this conversation with us. We want to hear from you. So while Keop is getting his thing together, let's bring back up Angie. Let's do our roundabouts with the people we have in here.
Okay.
Angie.
Hey.
You know what? So that is a very good thing. What we were just talking about earlier. People that think that because you do have open relationship, that they feel like it's a lack of love in your relationship. Is that true?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think that for me personally, our love had to be extremely strong for us to be able to enter into something such as this.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do it until we were 100% comfortable, 100%, trusting. And we're like totally in love. Like that's literally my best friend. Like we tell each other everything and anything. And I hear people say that when they're in a relationship all the time. That's my best friend. That's my best friend. No, like that's really like my best friend. Like literally, there's nothing I can't tell him. There's nothing he can't, tell me at all, ever. But no, there's no lack of love. There's no insecurity or anything like that. I was reading some of the comments. People were like, what about, testing and STDs and protection? One of our rules, I didn't say all of our rules, but one of our rules is definitely we always use protection. 100%. We always make sure that those who we interact with are tested. Because I actually pull your papers out, so I personally, I'm just that direct.
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions for you.
Sure.
One of which is here. Why did you hide? She used the word hide. I don't know if you hid it. Oh, I'm sorry, he. Your bisexuality for 2 years, because you said it was 3 years into the relationship that you told until you told him?
2.
2 years, okay.
Yeah. I didn't hide it. It wasn't anything that was hidden. It just we never had that conversation. And I know it sounds weird, but I guess since you guys are already all in my business, I might as well put it all out there. When he and I started dating, it was right after like a huge breakup for me. Literally like a month after I had got out of a 4-year relationship, he and I started dating. And literally in 4 months, I got pregnant with our first daughter. 4 months of us dating, I got pregnant with our first daughter. So our first year of being together, we were brand new parents, 24 and 25 years old, brand new parents. So really, before we could really even get into the knowing each other and what people would consider experimentation of our relationship, we got a baby. That's a whole monster in itself, And I'm caring for my mom, who's 100% disabled, and I have this new relationship, and we know each other, but we don't know each other. So I always tell people our first year of dating, we became parents within that same year. Our second year of dating was like our first real year of dating. Essentially, like that's when we really got to do like real big dates and travel and like really meet, because I'm originally not from Atlanta. He's originally not from Atlanta. So we got to travel and meet each other's families and, you know, all that jazz. So year 2 is when that conversation happened. I knew he already knew, because girls would walk by and be like, damn, her ass is fat, she's pretty. I mean, he kind of already knew, but blatantly having that conversation, it didn't come until year 2, the end of year 1, the beginning of year 2, right in that area where we really sat down and we talked about it. And he asked me questions like, when did I know? And, you know, all those normal questions that people ask when they find out that you're, you know, not heterosexual or whatever. But it wasn't anything I'm ever hiding.
You said something. Oh, go ahead, Derek. Go ahead.
Okay, so question for you, Angie. Now, and I know this really because I saw this question pop up earlier when you were talking, but I do want your thought about this. Being that you do have 2 daughters. Now, I know they don't know what y'all do, but
yeah,
is this a relationship that you will want to see your daughters in?
I want to see my daughters in whatever will make them comfortable and happy.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever will make them comfortable and happy. So much so that one of my daughters is a baby. She's not even talking yet. My other daughter, she's, you know, a little girl, but we have real conversations because she lives in a world that's real. Mm-hmm. So much so to the point that the private school that she goes to, they educate them on the LGBT community. They celebrate Pride. And my daughter's she'll be 6. Mm-hmm. So does my daughter know what her father and I do? No, because everything that an adult does is not for a child.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
However, is my daughter well versed about the differences in people and their choices? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. When my daughter gets old enough and she wants to ask me about anything, will I tell her and be honest? Absolutely. But as a 6-year-old, when mommy and daddy goes on vacations or staycations or what have you, does my daughter know that we're going to, you know, move some furniture with some other people? No, she's a child. No, she's a child. She's not going to know. But would I have an issue with her? I don't have an issue. This is my philosophy on parenting. I feel like my daughters shouldn't do anything that I did at the age that I don't want them to do anything that I did if it wasn't at the age that I did it at, if that makes sense.
I got you. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So from getting my ears pierced to get my belly button pierced to having sex, if they have sex at the age I had sex at for the first time, I'm not going to be upset about that. If my daughter becomes bisexual or a lesbian or whatever, or trans or whatever, I'm going to support her because I want my daughter to be open and honest and live in her truth, just like I am, because I have nothing to be ashamed of.
Let me just offer just a change of words.
Okay.
Not if your daughter becomes bisexual, but if she realizes, because, and I say that
absolutely,
I know there are people watching who think that.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Absolutely,
it's a decision.
Absolutely.
And I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, but I'm sure that there are other people who may have taken that the wrong way.
Yes, I totally agree with that wording. I apologize. Yeah, I agree with that wording.
But I have a few questions for you. So
he got back up.
Oh yeah, we got Kiat back. Okay, but let me ask you this: have you ever, in the moment, in a threesome with your is it your husband or your boyfriend?
We are not married. We are not married yet.
Okay, so have you ever, in the moment, gotten jealous because maybe he's kissing the other woman, or she looked like, or he looked like he enjoyed it too much, or has he ever been jealous?
Well, he's never been. No. No, he's never gotten jealous, and I've never gotten jealous. I feel like if we're gonna get jealous, we shouldn't be doing it.
Right. And
At
then, so you've never, yes, pretty Mrs. G, communication is our partner, clarity is our friend. Have you ever been in a situation where you were in a threesome, and even though you're committed in this relationship, have you ever like started to like really like one of the guys or girls that you were in it with? Like you started to really like feel her like, or him? No.
Mm-mm. No.
And
because it goes back to what I said earlier. For me, that emotion and intimacy, that's only reserved for he and I can't give those feelings and emotions to someone else. I can't allow myself to give those types of feelings to someone else, because then what do we have?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do we have? What's keeping us together? What separates us from this? And another thing, just because I know you guys are bringing someone else in, that I want to clarify is, just because I say that we're in an open relationship and that I'm bisexual and, it's open on both ends, it is not like we are doing this every single day. Right. It is not like we're doing this every single weekend, every single month. Like, honestly, it's months in between times. It's just, something that happens every now and again, because we have lives, we have jobs, we have little girls, like we have a life to live. I can't be out here and every 3 hours I'm out here busting it down with who God knows who. Like, this is not, that's what people think. They only think of the sexual aspect of it, and it's more to it than that. This isn't something that's just always going on. It's just like, oh, I'm going to deal with this person this weekend, going to deal with this person tonight and tomorrow night. It's not like that at all.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your insight, Angie. I really appreciate you. You have gave us a good insight on this conversation.
You did.
Oh, anytime. I appreciate you guys. It was fun.
Thank you. And, oh, wait. Somebody asked, is your boyfriend there? Can he join the conversation?
He's not. He's not. He's not here. He actually is watching the girls. He's watching the girls. But if you guys ever wanted to like have me back, I'll definitely bring him into the conversation. I didn't ask. I didn't know if it was okay to bring, like, for him to be a part of this. I would have loved it, because he's very open and honest as well. He's just relaxed. But if you guys ever want his insight, I will definitely bring him on, and so y'all can ask some questions.
We're gonna take you up on that, Angie.
Absolutely.
Thank you, darling.
You're so welcome. Love you guys.
Thanks. Love you too.
Good night. Oh wow, she was really interesting.
Yeah. So now we're gonna bring back up Big Chris, because Keop actually, we don't know what's going on with his stuff over here.
In and out.
Yeah, he's in and out. So we'll bring back up Big Chris. That was not a B. So Chris, so my question for you is, like you said, now that you're in this marriage, how long have you been married now?
Going on 2 years.
Okay, going on 2 years now. And like you said, you have opened it up to her about having this open relationship type thing, and she's not with it, right?
No. For the reasons what I told her about my first wife.
Right.
And to add, the previous the lady, what she was talking about, the different dates and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true. That could be very expensive. So remember, when I started this, I was married for 15 years and we got children. So add those multiple dates with that. Mm-hmm. That took a hurting on our finances, and that was another thing that we thought about too as well. Mm-hmm. So that's another thing that you want to think about. If anybody is thinking about doing,
it became expensive.
Yes. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave this to the rich folks, to Will and Data. You know, they can afford it.
Now, that's not a make or break for you. Do you find, will you think that later on in your marriage that there might become an issue for you because it's something that you want to do and it's something that she doesn't want to do? Do you see that become an issue later on down the line, or you're okay with her just not being with it?
Well, at this point in my life, I'm content. You know,
Okay.
I mean, if she changed her mind, it's she changed her mind. But at this point, it's just not interested.
Well, because you were married and you went through it through marriage, what advice would you give somebody that's going in, that may want to try this in a marriage, that may want to introduce this? Do you have any advice that you give that you would give somebody that wanted to try this in their marriage?
Yes. Like I said in the email, we were a Black couple. We didn't know anything about this. So the first thing I did was I did some research. I read a book called Open by Jenny Block.
Mm-hmm.
That talks about open relationships. And I also read Polyamory in the 21st Century by Deborah Ennerfall. Mm-hmm. And that just kind of gives you the introduction to all the variations of polyamory. I was going to make a joke about when you guys were talking about the different variations. They have something called polyamory kitchen table, and that just pretty much a big house, and all these different couples are living in one house, and it's like a little community. It's quite interesting. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. So basically, your information, your advice would be do your research.
Yes.
Just do your research, because this is more than just a lifestyle. It's a community.
Yes, it's a community, and just like the young lady, she said, it's not just about sex.
Mm-hmm.
To your point, Derek, you want just more of an emotional connection relationship, not more of a sexual relationship.
Right.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of people get into polyamorous relationships just for that reason. Then they have no sex at all, and that's why they have other partners for them.
See, Craig. Thank you very much for your insight in this conversation, Chris. We really appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Okay, so Keop is back for the 15th time.
Right.
So
I think it's in the neck.
So he can hear us now. So he's shaking his head. So now we're gonna make sure that you got your rig on. So let's make sure that you can hear. We can hear you.
What up, family? Yeah. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, how are you?
Y'all know I'm the president of the GED section. It takes me a minute to get things together over here.
Okay, good. Well, see, now we can hear you. You're all good now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Okay, so Kia, talk to. I don't get to read the emails because I like to come on and just indulge in the conversation. So I didn't see the email.
No, he didn't read the emails because he didn't read the emails. Somebody got to read the emails to figure out who's gonna come on here.
Well, that's because you like to read, Craig, and you nosy. So, yeah. Can you tell us how you fit into this conversation?
It's very interesting. I'm in a relationship right now with a man. We've been in a relationship since February. I got to talk a little because he's also doing a show right now. He's a poet. And at the time of us meeting, he was in a relationship with a woman. We were friends, and he was actually bringing me in, he was actually trying to consider if I could fit into their dynamic. They ended up not working out, and so we investigated whether or not we could work, and we did. And so we are just trying to, bring, a young lady into the picture. So that's kind of how it all started for us.
So what y'all? So y'all consider bisexual?
Yeah.
Or do you put a label on it? Or y'all just two gay men that just will have sex with a woman?
I mean, I think everybody's a little bit bisexual. He's definitely bisexual. I hadn't had sex with a woman in probably 6 or 7 years.
Mhm.
So I kind of given up on the women's side of things. But yeah, I would consider myself, bisexual. I gave up the women part because of the church, and I had a fear that nobody would date me, as far no female would date me because I had been with a man already. So I had
Mhm.
given up that whole side of dating, that whole side of possibilities. So meeting him let me know that it was possible, and so here we are.
So now y'all actively looking for this third person, or have y'all had? So do y'all have like tryouts? Like how does this work?
We actually dated. We actually was in a relationship with a woman. We
Not
actually
tryouts.
had tryouts. We actually was with a relationship with a woman. We dated her for a few months, brought her here to try to see if it would work. It didn't, and so here we are again. Trying to find somebody else, pretty much.
What you
So
mean? What you mean? You brought her here? What do you mean by that?
Well, she was I'm in Las Vegas and she was in Minnesota. So
They
we
flying
met
folk
her.
out.
Absolutely. We dated her, we talked to her for a few months, and we brought her here to see if we were all compatible, if it could work. And
So these
yeah,
were
so
kind
it
of like
didn't.
auditions.
it's all did they
Well, I
tryouts?
mean, dating is like a tryout. You have to see, are you guys compatible? Will it work or whatever? So, yeah.
So
So
you
now, so it's it's y'all ideal relationship that they will move in, which like it'll be all three of y'all living together.
We want a family. We want an actual family. We want to both have kids with her. We want an actual family. We want an actual solid like life together. With all three of us. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the plan.
Mm.
Y'all quiet.
I wasn't expecting that answer. I was thinking it was because see that once again is we always think about this situation as it's just sex, and we don't
Yeah,
really think
no,
about
yeah,
that it's more than that for people.
yeah. We actually and the thing about it was, I was never interested in poly. I was very much possessive and very much wanted my own thing. But the older I got and the more open I got, the more evolved I became. For me, it was a decision that I could have both. I didn't have to hide and be, a man that likes a man, but still wanted to kind of date women, still wanted to have kids. And he was already living his truth. He was already there, and so
Mhm.
yeah, for me, it was an opportunity to be like, well, yeah, I can have both. And although in the beginning, it was hard for me to see, him like somebody else or him, give somebody else a touch or flirt. I'm not saying there's always an easy thing, but you learn to grow through that. You learn to grow through that, and you learn to become unselfish. You learn to give up. You learn to become unselfish to get what you want over here. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it was definitely like a growing process, for the both of us. For me especially because this was something he was already open to because he wanted to save his relationship with his girl. He wanted to save his relationship with his girl and have a guy or whatever. And so for me coming in, it was a totally different, aspect for me. But I get to get what I want, and so it's kind of dope.
But having a third male has never been an option for y'all
I mean, we've done threesomes and things like that. You
no,
know,
we mean in the
in a
relationship.
relationship though.
yeah, we've done threesomes in the relationship as
Well,
well.
no, I'm
Yeah,
saying,
because
no, we're saying like how you want to have a third woman.
oh
I mean,
no,
a
we
third
don't want no
female.
man. No, no, we don't want no other man. No, 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 no. We got enough swords over here.
Now, how do you identify
What do you mean?
LGBTQ?
He said, where was you at, John? He bisexual.
Well, they're asking in the comments. I thought he did. I thought he
I'm, I
did.
mean, for me it was so many things when I first started having feelings about liking. You don't know the terms. You don't know whatever. I grew up in the church and I had feelings for guys. I didn't know the terms. I still dated women, but I was attracted to men. But once I started dating men, the church gave me this fear that I couldn't date women, so I thought I was gay, and I just put the bisexual side of me aside.
Mm-hmm.
And every now and then in between relationships with a man, I would meet a girl and have sex. And so there was still an attraction. There was still, that fever, I just was drawn more, in a relationship with men because I was just conditioned to think that I couldn't be with a woman after being with a man, pretty much. So I consider
Mhm.
myself to be, as far as sexually attracted, I am honestly sexually attracted to both sexes.
Now, so how do y'all find people that y'all trying out? Like, is it a group chat? I
If
mean,
you
Well,
say try it out one more time,
well,
right.
I'm leaving.
is it a group chat? I mean, do you get on a thing?
No,
You get on
so
YouTube with
so
Amber
what?
Red? Like,
So no, there are polyandrous groups. There are poly groups. There are poly. This is the internet. There are poly wherever you want to search in Google, you can find people that have like feelings and like whatever. So we go into these groups, we go into these communities, and we say who we are, we say what we want. We've gotten a lot of backlash because normally it's two women, with one man. So our dynamic is totally flipped. But yeah, we go into these groups and we let them know who we are, and that kind of thing. And there are, believe it or not, there are a lot of women who are open, and who want to be a part of this dynamic.
and and I say that all the time. I be trying to tell these men out here, like, because I know a lot of men that are bisexual. And I tell them these women is with it nowadays. They with it. So you ain't got to really hide yourself no more.
But,
Absolutely. If I had a, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead, make your statement. I'll remember.
No, what I was going to say was if I had not have believed a lot of the things that I was conditioned to believe from the church, I probably would have been, open enough to tell a woman, hey, I used to date men or I dated men or this, you know what I'm saying? I just always had this fear that once I went and started dating men and having sex with men, that no other woman would ever want anything to do with me. So, this whole thing has been an eye-opening, experience pretty much.
Gotcha.
Now my question was, during the pandemic, you all were trying to fly this lady out from where was she? Milwaukee.
She was Craig, you be trying
No,
it.
no. Was she COVID tested?
Was she what?
Was she COVID tested? But
She
no,
made, she
all
made
jokes
the
She,
cut.
we
no,
made
all jokes
sure
aside.
everybody was safe, everybody was whatever.
No, all jokes aside.
We had
My
talked to
real
her for
question,
months.
my real question is: so if it had worked out with her, you guys were going to fly her to Vegas, and she was going to live with you guys.
Yeah, yeah, if she didn't have to go home. We were willing to bring her into the castle and make this thing work.
Where
That,
Yeah.
y'all? Where this group of people at, y'all? I got once again, y'all. I can't find one man to buy me something to eat, and these two and they fly somebody all the way in and putting them like, come live with me. Where? Post
I
these
mean,
groups.
listen,
Let me go to one of these
we had
groups, y'all.
talked to her for a while. We spoke to her for a while. We got to know her. We got to meet her kids. We knew her family. Like this wasn't just somebody that we, just when you say audition, it makes it sound like quick. And no, we actually spent time with her. He had his own bond with her. I had my own bond with her. Sometimes we talked together. Sometimes we talked separately. Yeah, it was that there were feelings that developed, over, the times that we dated.
let me. Okay, that's my last question, and we got two other people down here that are waiting that popped in. Um, why did it work out with her? That's what I want to know. Like, what went wrong?
She I think several things. I think when she got here, um I think she liked one of us more than the other. I think that she thought that maybe she could come between the two of us. I think that she saw an opportunity. I feel like, we didn't really, as much as we talked and as much as we tried to get to know her, I feel like, and as much as we thought we had it covered, when she got out here, the person that showed up wasn't who we talked to,
Time out.
on the play.
Now, inquiring minds want to know who did she like more, you or him?
I think she liked him more, honestly. I think she liked him more. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I think she liked him more, and there was, um, yeah, I'm gonna say I think she liked him more, and there was never the entire period of time that she was here. There was never, that spark. That. that thing that y'all have. For me and her, I was waiting on it, but she didn't. She didn't have
You
it
have
for me.
someone that's trying to audition.
You see, we got another candidate for an audition. She'll be in Vegas next month.
That's what.
Can somebody pick her up from the airport?
I'm being such a bad boyfriend right now.
Jackie Russell, we will get your information and pass it along.
Can I tell y'all this though?
Yes.
All jokes aside, can I tell y'all this honestly? The morning that I realized that she didn't have it for me like I wanted to, I had to talk with him, and I was like, yo, bro, I feel like she likes you more, and I was willing to let them have their own thing, and then me just find me a woman, and then we just go like that. He came to me like, no, we're in this together. We're a package deal, and so I just want to talk about the unselfishness that goes in the poly, and the lack of fear, and you got to be solid in your own self. You feel me? I was willing to be like, okay, if the connection is there for y'all, I didn't want to short him of his happiness. So I was willing to, okay, y'all do y'all thing. I guess she's still gonna stay here, and I gotta bring me somebody in too. But no, he was willing to say, we're a package deal, and take it or leave it. And so once we brought her to the table to get her real feelings, it was time for her to go. We got it.
Okay, well, this is one more question. It's a serious question, but not really serious. But so when y'all do find this, is she gonna have to work? Like, or do y'all just?
Listen, Derek J. We're not trying to save anybody, and I believe that.
Let me explain
I believe
something.
That's what she thought. I believe that's what she thought was that there was these two men here.
That's what any woman in her right mind should think. If I was a woman, I wouldn't work nowhere. I got 2 men in the castle. I'm not working nowhere.
Listen. Everybody. When I say we were willing to give her willing to have her come in, we weren't trying to save nobody. We do, does she have to work? We just want her to own her own space and be her own light, whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? So no, I'm not gonna say she had to work, but I'm also saying that we're not looking to save nobody. This is a
y'all wouldn't have got none
effort.
of my pussy.
This is a community effort. We're all in this together. We're all trying to make this work together. You get what I'm saying? And so that's the thing. There's no roles. There's no genders. We're all in this together.
Okay. Well, thank you, Kia. We're gonna drop you back down because we had too many pop in the room. Thank you. Oh, jeez. Okay. So we have Empress Valley.
Valerie, maybe.
Let's see.
Empress Valley. Hold on, let me go and get in the line.
Oh yeah, girl, because it's too dark.
I didn't know I was next. Hold on.
Girl, hey.
Okay, hey y'all.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
Okay, so you popped in on this conversation. What you got to add to this conversation, baby?
Okay, so firstly, just a little bit of background about me, right? I am a bisexual woman who has been in poly life for a long time. And listening to the conversations, there was a few things that was popping out to me. And I always love to have these discussions on clarity, because from the outside perspective, if you've never experienced poly, the idea of it can be confusing, because as soon as you say poly, first things people start to think is, oh, poly means swingers. That's the first thing come to mind. Sex, swingers. And just to clarify for a lot of people, I saw some of the questions in the comments, even some of the things that some of the other guests were saying. Poly is a prefix that means many. Now, whatever you add, whatever the suffix you add to that kind of defines your poly. So yes, I know one of the ladies, she was saying MFM and FFM and all of this stuff. There's a million different definitions. But when you hear the word poly, try not to associate it with any one particular way of poly, because that just means many. Now, as from the examples that a lot of people were coming in and sharing, poly can be so many different things. But one of the main aspects of poly that most people, again, who don't have experience in it should understand is that it's all about openness. It's all about honesty. It's all about building and having what you want without the restrictions of monogamy. That's basically the gist of it. Now, my poly may be different from your poly. I may be polygamous, where I want me, sister wife, and we have our king. Then there's some women who prefer two men. There's the men the guy has just left off a few seconds ago. He wants his husband and he wants a wife too. Where there's people who are swingers. There's people who are just single poly, where they just say, you know what? I don't want a set commitment with any one person. I just want to be free and love everybody, love whomever I decide to come in contact with. So I think one of the things when it came into me identifying my poly was with so many definitions, having to understand what you fall into. I've realized there's no need to. Whatever you want, once you have more than one, you're already in the poly group. That's it. You want two people, you're already in poly. That's the only thing you need to do. Two or more, you're poly. But how your poly looks does not necessarily mean it has to look like anybody else poly.
Ultimately, what I hear you saying is you're just not whatever poly you are, you're not restricted to monogamy. You're not relegated to monogamy. Okay.
Exactly.
Are you in a relationship now?
Yes, I am. I'm in a relationship with a couple, but it started from me being in a relationship with a woman. My girlfriend, she and I were friends for many years beforehand, and it came out and said, hey, I actually like you more. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't even know you were like that. Let's talk. That ended into now going on almost a year with her, a great relationship, but she's married to a man. She's married. And by building this type of relationship with her, spending so much time with her, being on the phone with video chat with her and her children and me and my children, of course, her husband is there. So with her husband being there, we also started to build a relationship just from generally just talking, chit-chatting, all three of us. Then it went to, let's take a trip. Okay, we can take a trip. And this trip led into, okay, come on, you're going on a vacation. Everybody know you're going on a vacation with any type of vacation. Once you're in a hotel room, there's things that, come up.
Yeah.
And so having that experience pretty much pushed, not say push, but it just kind of grew into a little bit more. So I am in a relationship with both of them technically, but it started with a strong relationship with she and I.
So do you all live together or you live separate from them?
No, we live separately now. Our goal though is so that's not the end of our dynamic, because I also want a king. I still want my king. Now, when this king is confirmed, if he's monogamous, then it'll just be the king. But if he's poly and say, hey, I want a sister wife, which I meet a lot of poly men who want the sister wife thing.
Hold on right there. Pause. So you saying if you meet a guy, a king, and he's like, no, I'm not with any of that, I just want to be with you. You're saying you're just going to be monogamous? Is that what you're saying?
No. No, he has to be completely okay with this situation. Now, he doesn't have to interact with that situation in the sense of he doesn't, he has to be okay and have a relationship. It could be platonic, it could be, non-sexual, whatever. He has to just be a good fit for our dynamic and what we're trying to do.
Right. In other words, he can't try to force you to be monogamous.
Oh, that's not. I'm over that.
Right.
So I used to trick myself into that, but no, not anymore.
So you're in a relationship with a couple. So I hear that, but it's not registering to me, because it would kind of be like you're like the third person, because it's like they're in their relationship and then you kind of just come into the relationship. So or is it like, do you call him on his own time or do y'all how does that function?
And that is a part of kind of where I was going when we were talking earlier. Everybody probably looks differently, right? Because and I'm just saying that just to clarify for everybody listening, there's no one way, right? In our dynamic, yes, I have a separate relationship with him as well. He and I go on dates. He and I spend time. She and I have our own dates. And then we have all three of us together. So we actually built that in. Now, in this dynamic, they have made it, okay, yes, they live together. They've been already married, for many years or whatever the case may be. But they've done a very good job at not making me feel like a third, if that makes any sense. The distance and the fact that we don't live together, that's the only thing that you would know. You know what I mean? Like that separation is there because they already live together. But we don't have that now. On the flip side, before I was in this dynamic, like I said, I've experienced poly on different avenues. When I was married, my husband and I, we also had girlfriends with the intent of having a triad, which is, me, him, and another wife. We dated our women together. There was no separation whatsoever. If we went out, all three of us went out. Me and the girl will chit chat, have girl stuff going on, but there was no separation. If we met a woman and she was not interested in he, or she was not interested in me, or whatever the case may be, she's chopped off, done, deal. So in our dynamic, I can say that we did have kind of what you were saying just now, where it was kind of us and we were bringing somebody else on type of thing, versus the dynamic I have now, where it's kind of like I'm a part of, I'm really a part of. We had never gotten to that point with a woman as of yet.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, with every scenario, go out. Sorry, my son.
You really clarified a lot for me. I don't know about it.
Right. And that's why I was listening. I don't know if you all saw me in the chat. I'm like, oh my God, let me in. Because because being there, being at the beginning of this, having these feelings and trying to understand, like, okay, what am I? Okay, so I have to be this. Okay, so I'm this, I'm that. And then I'm a part of millions of poly groups on Facebook and Instagram and all this stuff there. There's always definitions and this, and you want this and you want that. And when you experience it on all these different levels, you experience that, you experience the polys, it's like you realize, like, it doesn't have to be a definition. It's communication between you, that person you love, and whomever else you're going to bring into this dynamic. Is that clear communication, understanding what will make you happy. Okay, well, this will make me happy. Does that match what makes you happy? Okay, well, if not, let's adjust, or if not, we'll walk away, or whatever the case may be. It's just communication. It's all love. I like men and women.
And it doesn't have to be one way. And it doesn't have to be one way. And one of the things that I'm hearing you say also is making me think about conversations that I've had with T.S. Madison about being trans. Like, I think a lot of people think that all trans women think, feel, and move the same, or all trans men think, feel, and move the same. They have different, different experiences. Somebody in the comment asked, how does your family see this or think of this? And how do you reconcile your religious beliefs, or your faith, I should say, if you have it, if you have like a religion that you subscribe to?
And Keon, we're gonna come to you about that, back to that for that same question too. Well, all of y'all, Amber too.
When it comes to my family, okay, so family, I'm guessing they're speaking of like my mom and my aunts and all that stuff versus my children. When it comes to my family, it was a progression, I guess, because when I was with my ex-husband, my mom kind of found out. It was some stuff she seen, she was introduced to a lot of our friends, quote unquote, and it's like, she's a little friendly. Why she sitting on his lap? Little stuff that was happening. And she was like, okay. So I had to kind of break it out to her. Being from a Christian Baptist background, of course, my first thing, my family, you need to pray about that. Then my aunt is like, you need to ask God, but I don't subscribe to religion. I'm highly spiritual. I believe a lot of people, I don't want to get into religion talk, but a lot of people get into religion based off what they were told. And once you start doing more research and you started learning and you actually started to just connect spiritually, you realize a lot of things. And we were poly before we were monogamous. And there was a reason why we were pulled to monogamy. I don't want to go that deep into history.
No, I got you. Because see, what you're saying is, and I've said this before, Derek, it's in Book of Jules. once you separate what you've been taught to believe about religion and in God, once you separate what you've been taught from what you know to be true for yourself, you'll be a whole lot freer.
Yes, freer is the word. And even just talking into religion, the first book of the Bible, you see how many people have how many wives, and how many wives have how many kids, and how many kids have who, how, what. That was all polygamy, but it's not. It's kind of like we go, that doesn't exist. Erase that off. We can pretend like that didn't happen. But anyway, fast forward. My family, I'm like the free little bird of the family. So I guess at some point they're like, you know what? It doesn't even matter. So my family they don't hold judgment to me. At first it was kind of, iffy or whatever, but they really got over it. But again, my family, they're a little more open-minded in a sense where they're not sacrilegious. They're not like, that bad and that steadfast in their mentality. So that's that part. What was the second question? I forgot. What is it?
Well, you answered
you answered both of them.
Yeah, it was about your family and how you reconcile your spirituality. My last question, though, and this is just from my own knowledge, do I hear like a Caribbean or West Indian accent?
No, but everybody says that. No, all my family we're from Miami and Georgia. But I don't know. I think I need to look deeper because everybody says that.
Right, because that was going to lead me to another question, because then I really wanted to know, because a lot of West Indian folk are like Catholic or, so I was really going to kind of have more questions about it, but that's all I wanted to know.
But then now my girlfriend, she is Jamaican, and yeah,
her
mom. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your insight, Empress. We got one more person to bring up. I really appreciate you. You gave us a lot of information.
You have.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Before we bring up our what you about to say?
I was just going to say, I wish Kia and Empress Valley that just came on. I wish they had, and my girl Angie, who was on here earlier, I wish they had brought their partners on here with them.
Well, we this might have to be a part 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we bring our last person on, a little bit more things. We thank you. We still receiving your cash apps. Thank you guys very much. And once again, for everybody that is sending in the cash app, me and Craig, I'm gonna scratch your name. We are going to match whatever you guys cash app us, and we're going to be donating it to Breast Cancer of America for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, American Cancer Society.
The American Cancer Society, yes, for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. All right, so we have Evan. We're going to pop Evan up. Hey, Evan, how are you?
I'm well. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Thank you for being patient.
Yes, thank you, Evan, because I know
the Empress kind of answered a lot of my questions that I had, because this is a good one. I'm happy y'all did this one. Because
now, is it something that you're interested in, or is it something that you're currently doing, or
no? So with my ex-husband, toward the end of the marriage, open relationship kind of came up. The topic came up, and and for me, it's always been like a pride situation of like almost an ownership thing. Like you can't have or do nothing with what's mine. And I want to know, and I want to ask the question, do you all feel like open relationships and threesomes, do they stem at some point from like a self-esteem situation? Because I know people, like for myself, when I was in mine, toward the end of my marriage, he kind of broke my self-esteem. So that's why it kind of came up. It was a way to try to keep things going for us. And I've heard, like listening to this tonight, I'm hearing a lot of such things, and I'm thinking, well, that's not the case for everybody. Is it kind of do people feel like it's agreed, like you want this one person, but I kind of want to have my cake and eat it too situation? Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to like I'm confused about it. Do you think that self-esteem has a play in?
Well, you know what? I don't know, because I'm not in it, and Craig is not in it. So let's bring up Key out.
Yeah, bring somebody in to help me out. Because I'm loving the feedback.
Yeah, and then and Okay, so Kia, let's see, and Big Chris pop back in, so we're gonna do like this, ma'am. So let's start with Big Chris. So he want to know, everyone wants to know, do you feel that self-esteem played a part in why you decided to have an open relationship?
Why are you laughing?
For me,
Well, Chris, you said no. Kia, what about you?
no, self-esteem is the reason why I chose to do it. The reason why I got into it was because of my self-esteem, because I wanted it, because I loved myself,
Right.
and I felt like, I should go after it. I felt like I deserved it. You know what I mean? I think people, think polyamory and they're sensitive and they're possessive over the person that they love, and they're, like you think that person's your property. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way. So, no, self-esteem wasn't a deciding factor for me.
Amber?
No, hell no. Self-esteem had nothing to do with it. I want a man and a woman because I'm attracted to both of them, and I know that I can't exist in just a relationship with a man or just a relationship with a woman. I want to be myself to the fullest.
Exactly.
Okay. Oh, you popped her back up.
My cousin is texting me now to remind me that we've had a conversation about this, saying, because she's watching as well, saying that my cousin, since we were kids, has never believed in monogamy. She doesn't think it's real. She does not think that it exists.
It's not. To me, it's not natural.
Mm-hmm. That's what she says. My cousin literally says she does not think it's natural.
Wait,
and I think you can feel it too. You can feel it. There's a lot of people who are monogamous, and I think that they tend to we tend to, and I'm going to say we, because at one point all of us were, I feel like I was monogamous at one point, right? We wanted to feel like one person is the answer for everything. Like, this person has to be my everything. They have to have X, Y, Z. They have to fulfill this. They have to fix this. They have to be my bread and butter. And then you get into a relationship and you realize that, well, one, you try to blame the other person for not being all of that. I just personally feel that I don't need one person to be all of that for me. I can love this side of person, this, because I love the trait, the positive, the love from this person. I love the logic from this person. I love the way this person is business minded. We can have these things as a unit, and now we're all complete.
Right.
And I say this respectfully. I agree that, well, I would disagree. I would say that, I agree with you, Empress, when you say that some people are monogamous. I think it's just like with sexuality. I think some are wired to be bisexual. Some are wired to be heterosexual. Some are wired.
Right.
And I think the same with monogamy. I don't think everybody is wired to be monogamous. And I've talked about this before. If you're a single person and you know that you're a monogamous person or have the capacity to be monogamous, then you should be, vetting people and dating people whose opinions or feelings are the same. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think everybody is wired to be monogamous. But I do think that there are people that are wired that way. And I do think also that monogamy is a social construct that reaches back to religion and marriage and all those things. But again, everybody doesn't fall under that construct.
Right.
But and just to
can I say this too?
To tap into,
okay.
there is a difference too between monogamy and selfish monogamy, because again, when we use the word poly, not at all means sex. It doesn't necessarily mean a sexual relationship.
Right.
Meaning just having the ability to have love and give love and share love with multiple people. I have quite a few relationships with men who are non-sexual, but I love them to death. They love me to death. They will bat for me just like if they were my husband type of thing, but it's never been sexual, and it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Okay. So we gotta drop that back down again, because we gotta ask a question to Amber. We gotta ask a question to Kia. So I'm gonna drop you guys back. Oh, that's wrong. Bam. Okay. Well, I'm gonna remove you, Amber. I'm gonna bring you up later. Okay.
Amber, get your final words together.
Okay. So Kia, you did speak about earlier. You spoke about earlier about being religious, and having. So how did you reconcile yourself with religion, and how does your family feel about this situation that y'all have going on?
Well, I had to do the religious reconciling years ago when I accepted my sexuality, period. You know what I'm saying? I had to come to grips with that because that was the cause of my depression and my unhappiness. So I had solved the religious problem, years ago. But, it was a shock to them to see that I would be open to, this type of relationship, as far as like the polyandry side. But I wanted to say, what made me open to this, in the beginning, being a gay man in the lifestyle, you meet other gay men, and it was the whole top bottom first thing, so I had fell in love with an individual, and but neither one of us, at the time, we're all, wanted the bottom all the time. So we had to, that's how I became open to threesomes. That's how I became to open relationships. It was like, look, yo, I love you and I want to be with you, but we gotta figure this part out. And so in order for us to figure this part out, maybe we need, to bring somebody in, because in the beginning, there was, I didn't, neither one of us wanted to bottom consistently, but we both wanted to have sex. So that is what was the opening to all of this. So it really is about your happiness. It's really about looking at your relationship and seeing, you know, and especially in this one I'm in now, it was like looking at each other and saying, okay, I want you, and how can we make this work? How can we make each other happy? There are places in him I know I can't touch, that I can't be his all in all, he can't be my all in all. And so that was like the thing. It was like an unselfish thing just to get what I want. I wanted to bring that up because, I think people hear, all about the sex, and feel, that you want to be possessed, or feel like you're going to be shorted, or feel like you're not going to get enough. As long as you're a strong person individually and you're about your happiness. When we looked into each other's eyes, we both just really wanted to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, yo, I like you and you like me. I like all your qualities and you like all of my qualities, but we have these issues here that we have to iron out. And so it was, poly for us was like a mature decision to be like, you know, I want this to work. I want my happiness is most important, is most important here. And so, yeah, I mean, my family is probably pretty thrown. I've thrown them for years. I'm pretty sure they're not surprised, but the religious thing, I've been had to do that. And I just made peace, that God loves us all. I don't believe everything that the church presents, biblically, even though I used to be a preacher, say, did all that kind of thing. I don't believe the presentation, of the gospel that they present all the way. So I live by my spirit, and, that's kind of how I had to do it.
Thank you so much, Kiab, and thank you for sharing. And the same for
Appreciate
you.
that.
We're going to have a part two of this, and we would love to invite your partner on to have this conversation.
He's actually here. He's just doing his own show. He wanted to be here,
Well,
but
no,
yeah, we
I
love to
know,
come back.
know.
Yeah, we
Well,
love to come
we're gonna
back and talk.
schedule it. Empress, the same for you. If your partner is down to have a conversation, we would love to bring them on too. We can see you shaking your head, Empress. So that's. But thank you so much, Kia. We're gonna bring Amber up. Thank you.
Our final words is this.
Oh wait, Craig, we can't be doing the same thing at the same time now.
I wasn't jumping anything. That was you.
Okay, but before we bring Amber up, all you guys that are in this conversation, y'all heard what we was talking about. Y'all heard all these different points of views and all that good stuff. So, with that being said, you guys learned a lot of stuff. Type of why, if you guys are open to a polyamorous, open relationship, or threesome, and if you're not, I just want to see who we got here, and do a why. I mean, an end to why. If you was saying no, but now you heard these conversations, then you're open to doing it, So I want to know, Amber.
All right, so my final words are based off some of the questions that I was seeing in the comments while everybody else was going that went after me. And one of them was, does jealousy come up? And yes, it does, but I feel like it's different in relationships with multiple people, because it's not like a knockdown, drag out fight over you looking at somebody else or you lusting after somebody else or wanting to be with somebody else, because it's kind of expected. Versus in a monogamous relationship, y'all act like it's unnatural to be attracted to other people, even though you're in a committed relationship. And so they be ready to break up and ready to fight and argue because somebody looking at somebody, another person, when it's natural to be attracted to other people. And some of the people was in the comments saying, "Oh, it's this lifestyle is too expensive. I can barely afford my man," and all this other kind of stuff. And if you broke, just say that. Like, don't be with all the other extra stuff. And it's on. I feel like it's only expensive when you're doing it like, or you're just swinging, or you got to pay for extra people. It's like an open relationship type thing. But with polyamory, when it's like multiple committed, you're in a committed relationship. Everybody is bringing stuff to the table, so everybody, it's like we're nation building. Like, you bring stuff to the table, you have a job, the other person got a job, I got a job, and we all put our finances together. So it's a lot more financial stability to go around, a lot more love to go around. If there's kids involved, there's a lot more stability for the kids. There's always an adult there for the kids. There's more people to help with homework, more people to cook.
Oh, so you want to live like Kia?
Yes, I want to be in a closed triad. I want a husband and a wife. I'm not with the swinging stuff and just having sex with random people and all the other shit. I'm not with that.
Okay. So I'm looking at these things. A lot of people are. So there's people are saying no. There's some people that are saying they're thinking about it. And there's some people that say yes, they're open to the relationship. So you guys have changed some people's minds out here about this open relationship and this polyamory moment of things. I said I'm open to it. I mean,
well, I can tell you whose mind ain't been changed is mine.
Craig, boo. Derek, you need to join some of the polyamorous groups on Facebook then, if you are open to it. It's a lot of groups on Facebook where there's different people, and we plan trips. There's a Halloween trip coming up in Detroit for Halloween. Then there's a cabin trip in Tennessee that's coming up in November. So it's a lot of things. Like, it's not.
Nah, I ain't ready to go to no cabin now. Nah,
he ain't trying to get gang raped, girl.
Yeah, I'm not ready for that shit.
I'm not going either because I don't have any polyamorous friends around me to go. So I'm just in the groups to just make friends with like-minded people.
Now, I will say this is that one person, Jay Farm, he is very disturbed that people have these polyamorous relationships, but that nobody not married. So the thing is that I guess on our next conversation, we need to figure out, like, is marriage the thing? Do people want to get married?
That's not the thing for everybody, though.
I want to be married, and the couple that I'm currently talking to, they're already married, and I'm willing to join their marriage. But their shit got to be solid first, because I'm not coming into nothing where it's rocky and y'all don't trust each other, or there's some shit y'all just trying. I'm not with that. The other shit got to be solid first for me to join it. So I do want to be married, and I do want children. It's not just, I'm trying this type shit. It's serious over here.
All right. Thank you very much, Amber. And thank you for being a long time contributor to Gay Like Me Conversations. We really appreciate you and your commentary.
Yeah, I appreciate what y'all are doing too.
Thank you. I love your feedback. I always do. I always tell you that.
I love you, Craig. I love
okay, that's enough now. That's enough. Though Craig had already big enough.
No, God. It's not even about like the looks and all the other shit. Like, I truly know that he's like divinely placed into my life for this like moment in time. All of this shit is divine.
Oh, I love it.
Nobody coming to your life for no reason. Like, you don't cross paths with people, whether it's through the internet or through the street. All of this is divine timing.
Yes, I agree.
And I'm grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amber.
But look, so my final words for this, and then of course we're going to announce our next one, guys. So if you haven't liked the video or subscribed to my channel and Derek's channel, please do so. But the final thing that I wanted to say, I've taken in a lot. I've processed a lot. I'll be thinking about it in the days to come and the weeks to come and all of that. But one of the things, because I saw some of the comments and some of the people were a little frustrated with some of the questions and comments that people were saying, just the inquiries, right? But the way that I see it is just like when trans was a new term and when bisexuality was kind of a new term. It takes people who identify as those things to educate those of us who are not. That's the only way that we learn. So you can't get frustrated when people ask questions, sincere questions. I'm not talking about the questions where people are joking, and you got to know when people are joking and playing. And I know this is a serious topic and whatever, but just think of it in that way. Because for me, when I first started hearing bisexuality, I was like, but I believe in bisexuality now. At the time, I did not. And I think a lot of people still shy away from the term or frown up at the term bisexuality because they think that because you identify as bisexual, that for some reason that you're non-committal. And just because you're bisexual, it doesn't mean that you're non-committal. You can be committed to that particular person that you're in a relationship with. It just means that you're fluid, that sometimes you date women, sometimes you date men, but you can still be committed to whomever you're with. So just think about it in those terms.
All right, Craig. So, one look at your Cash App.
Oh, yes.
And tell me what you got over there, because I have over here, you guys came through tonight.
Yes, they did. We were trying to get a minimum of $500 in.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We got 500. Well, I don't know what you got on your side, because I know your people love you over there.
I was gonna say, the people love me,
right? So I did. How you get caught up these super chats? Because I saw they went away.
Yeah, I don't know. They disappeared. And I saw them when I was liking them, but
so I know it was at least $50 on a super chat. Okay, and then I have $150 in my Cash App. How much you got over here with you, Craig?
Guess how much you think he brought in?
Oh, I know you got a whole bunch of money over there, Craig.
He brought in $384.
Oh, well, there we go.
So you said you had what?
So I have $150 plus $384 plus 50. So what's that?
$584.
$584. So there we go.
So we're gonna take this $584
and then we're gonna add $584.
Okay.
So we're gonna give it. So we're giving
$1168.
$1168. So $1,200.
Okay, $1,200.
So thank you guys. We will be donating $1,200 to
American Cancer
Society for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate that, and they will really appreciate it also.
Yes. And I just got another $20 in here, so I'll add that in there too.
There we go.
All right. So listen, our next topic. You want to announce that real quick?
Yes. What is it? Being Black and gay in entertainment. So yeah. So this one is. I mean, I guess we can have an open call for this, but I guess this is a more tailored conversation. If you are in entertainment, actor, singer, dancer, and you have insight on that, we would love to hear from you. You can email us at, can you change the bottom thing, Craig?
Oh,
thank you.
Email us at glmconvo@gmail.com. And we wanted to talk about just being Black, being gay, and trying to find your way through entertainment. Has it worked for you? Is it working for you? How's it all going? All that good stuff. So we want to hear that conversation for you. We will be calling on our own personal friends that we have in entertainment to be part of this conversation, but we want to hear from you too. So, email. Black or LGBTQ. If you're trans, we want to hear from you as well. If you're in entertainment, you may be a makeup artist for gospel artists or R&B artists, like in any capacity of entertainment. We want to hear from you, your journey as an openly LGBTQ person. We want to hear your story. All right. So that conversation is going to happen on, what was that, November 4th?
Yes.
Yeah, November 4th.
Week.
That's your birthday week?
Yes, it is. So I really don't normally work on my birthday week, but for you guys, I'll be here.
So please email us at glmconvo. And we want to hear from you. And it's going to happen 2 weeks from today. Yep. Thank you guys for being here and supporting what we do. Thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing to the videos. We thank you very much. And thank you for all of the panelists for all of your insight and helping to educate all of us.
All right. Thank you guys very much. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He sat them.
To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com.
Bye, y'all.
I'm about to say, Lord.